I'll just wait for more people to join before we start. Sir, if we can have a full view of this slide, dreamer, critic, and doer.
Frank.
I request participants to please mute themselves.
Meenu ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Sorry. I didn't take a notice of. So we were talking about this, we'll be learning in this second half of the session, we'll be learning how can we make our children jump from this critic to the doer, or the person who's realistic in his actions, right? So can we move on to the next slide, please, sir? Now, before we move on to that activity, one of the most important topics of NLP is frames. Frames means the lens or the things through which we look at the world. Before we get into the depth of this, let us understand this, what actually happens. See, there is an event one which occurred outside. Someone came and someone said to me, like, I did not like this behavior, or probably someone came and said to me, you know what, the way you were speaking was a little uneasy. It made me a little uneasy. Probably this was the sentence which came upon me. Now, this is event one, which went into my internal world through different filters. We all have this entry gates. We have ears, we have nose, we have eyes, we have skin to let the piece of information enter into our brain. Now, when this piece of information goes into our brain, it goes in a filtered manner. And when it goes into a filtered manner, it ends up into a meaning which may be very, very different from what the person said to me. Right. And from there, an event two is created in my internal world. And when this event two is absolutely different from event one, that becomes the root cause of the problem. So today, through this topic frames, we would, explore a little how do and what role do the frames play in changing our, perception about what is said has to be taken as it is, and it also makes the children responsible for the reactions or the results which they get. Can we move on to the next slide, please, sir? Yes. The very first effect is cause and effect. You may have seen many children coming to you and telling you, like, effect is, I have failed in my exam. I was not able to finish my homework. I got less marks in my exam is the effect, and cause is my friend. Why? Because my friend was continuously disturbing me. That is why I was not able to write the answers. Though I knew the answers, but I was not able to write because of the distraction which was created by my friend. These are the children whose frame is cause and effect. No matter whatever happens in their life, they will always find some exterior cause, some external cause to not do what they were supposed to do. And such are the children who are always into blame game. I did not do this. I did not mean this. I am not responsible for this. I behave this way. We come across many classroom fights. No, ma'am, no, I I called him name because he hit me first. I spoke loudly, or I bet him because he was the first one who has pushed me. Don't we come across such classroom scenarios every day? I hope most of the class teachers, most of the subject teachers, we all come across this. So once when you're, yes, thank you, ma'am. So once when you hear the dialogues of the children, try to understand which frame is the child using to look at a particular event, and what is he interpreting that event one into, because that will be, yes, complaining, nagging, every time nagging, without realizing this, that there is some internal disturbance at their level, right? Then there may be second type of children, result versus excuses. They will always find an excuse of not having done the work. Ma'am, I had finished my work, but I'm not able, like, why can't you get the notebook checked? Because, ma'am, I've forgotten to bring the notebook, but promise I'll show the notebook tomorrow. Why are you not able to, make this diagram? No, ma'am, actually, I was trying to make this, and then, I thought, ki, let me do it a little later, and then it slipped off my mind. Most of the time, these are the students forget to bring. Wonderful. That is one of the most common issue which we as teachers face. I have forgotten to bring the notebook, because we know this is a mere excuse. The child has not done the homework. The child is not prepared with whatever I have told the child to come prepared with. And now, in order to avoid, or in order to escape the punishment, the child is giving me this excuse. So there are certain dialogues which you have to identify. Always remember, for some people, cause and effect and result versus excuse may sound similar. But if you look at the pattern of the talking, you will find there is a huge difference between the dialogues of these two effects, right? Then coming to, yes, page got torn. This is one of the common excuses, right? My page got torn, my brother threw water on it, and whatnot. Then mind and body are one. This is one of the most important frame which we need to teach our children. The above mentioned two were the frames which we need to remove from the children, wherein this third frame is the one which we have to teach the children. Now, what do we mean by this? See, years back, it was said, whatever I'm talking about remote years back, it was said that whatever you think does not affect, missed my note, yes, does not affect your body. But as psychology, it progressed, it is very well proved that a single thought coming in your mind affects your whole body. So if a child is continuously repeating, I am a failure, I cannot handle math subject, I cannot learn the, yes, I cannot learn the science project. This is something which Hindi is a very tough subject, and I forget the matras, I cannot do it. Their body will start responding like that. Not only this, you may be facing many children in your class who do not want to go. Yes, ma'am. Who do not want to go for the games period. You ask them the reason, ma'am, actually my stomach is aching. Ma'am, my legs are paining. Ma'am, I have a headache. Yes, not the nervous breakdown, but kind of a, they always have this, they always pretend as if they're vulnerable. And once they are into this notion, I'm vulnerable, my legs are paining, my stomach is aching, my head is aching, this slowly becomes their reality. Each day, if they're repeating this negative thought, each and every cell of their body is taking that command and is generating that problem in their body. Is what mind and body are one, is the frame. And we need to make each and every child aware of this frame. I'm getting so many, yes, I can't face the sun. They develop a kind of phobia, thoughts influences your body. Wonderful answers I'm getting in the chat box. So these are the frames which actually, yes, escape, which actually affects our working a lot. So with the help of NLP, we try to change these above to mention frames, wherein the last frame is the one which we as teachers should be teaching our children, so that they are not speaking negative about themselves. The more negative they speak about themselves, the more reality it becomes of their life. Can we move on to the next slide, please, sir? Yes. Now let's practice for this. Yes. Sir, can we stop sharing the screen for a while because I want the full view? May I request all the participants to turn on the cameras and be ready with three sheets and a pen. There's an activity which is going to help you in your classroom as well. Take three separate sheets of paper and a pen. You just have to, I'm turning my timer on. So when I say you to start, you will start. And when I will say you to stop, you have to stop, right? But please try to do this with the cameras on. Before we start with the activity, let us understand what are the do's and the don'ts. You have to identify three separate places in that room where when I'll say you, you will stand up and then you will come back again to your place and you will sit down. So identify three places which can be very close to each other, but please identify three places where you will be standing once when I say you stand. Are we ready? Are we ready to start? Okay. So once when I say start, or I request all of you to stand up, please stand up at one place, at one designated place, which you have chosen right now. Right? Close your eyes. With once when I say start, what do you have to do? You have to close your eyes and you have to start thinking all your dreams. I will be giving you time of 30 seconds only, and you have to think about all the dreams which you have for yourself, and your time starts now. Stop, please. Come to your place. I request all of you to come to your place. Take first sheet of paper and quickly, when I will say only then you will start. When I will say start, I'll again give you 30 seconds. And in these 30 seconds, you have to pen down all the thoughts which you saw as a dreamer, right? And your time starts now. Quickly write down whatever you saw as a dreamer. Teachers, you have to be very quick. Please put your pens down, stand up again, move to the next identified place. Move to the next identified place. And again, when I will say start, this time you will be starting and thinking all the critical things which you think when it comes to making your dream turn into a reality. Just you have to, you have to arouse the critic within you and write and think about all the criticism which it gives you. And your time starts now. Stop, please. Go back to your place. Pick up the next sheet of paper. And when I say start, start writing all the criticism, self-criticism which came to your mind when you were standing at that place and thinking. And your time starts now. Stop, please. Again, stand up. Now go to the third place. And again, when I will say start, this time you have to think about all the realistic factors which you know you have to take for making your dreams your reality. Time will be again 30 seconds and you have to start when I say start. Uh, and your time starts now. Stop, please. Get back to your place. Pick up the third and the last sheet. And once when I say start, pen down all the realistic things which you have actually come across, and you know those are essential for you to make your dream a reality. And your time starts now. You all can put your pens down. And now let's discuss about this activity, right? So what did we do basically? Once when you were standing, why did I tell you to choose three different places? Because remember, place has a memory. Every place, every time has a memory, right? So that is why the circle or the place where you stood as a dreamer has created a certain memory of how your dreams look like. And then I told you to stand at the second place, which was like critic, the inner critic, which becomes highly activated whenever you think of doing something. Okay, now it's the time for me to turn my dreams into reality. There pops in the critic. How can I let you do that? I'll make you nervous at every minute. And then, we all are into this circle only. This activity, I mean, this is just one of the ways of decluttering your mind, giving your mind a clarity that I know as a dreamer, I have this. My critic says me this, and I know this is the realistic approach which I have to use for making my dreams as a reality. Now, how does this help? This activity, if you practice at a regular basis in your class, your children will get a clear view of how can you come out of this critic. And there is a test also to check whether your critic has quietened or not. And when is the critic activated the most? When our children are going for writing their exams, that is the time when the critic tells you can fail, you are not well prepared, you cannot do well, you haven't learned enough to get good marks. So this is a strategy which helps the children to quieten their inner critic. And how do we test that? Like right now we chose three places, right? Three places we stood, we wrote down all the 3 points. Now, whether the critic has quietened or not, what can you do after this session is over? You can go again and stand in the circle of that critic. If all those thoughts are haunting you again, that means critic is still into a highly activated mode and it has to be controlled. That is why, my dear teammates, I said this is an activity which has to be practiced on a regular basis. It cannot work magic or it cannot work wonders in one go. This is something which should be an integral part of your classroom teaching, and especially before the exams. The children are so much into the peer pressure. They have this self-low esteem and self-doubts and all this. So try practicing this technique, this DCR technique or the Walt Disney technique, which we call it as professionally, so that your children feel a little light. So can we, thank you, thank you. I hope you all, enjoyed this activity. If yes, please show me some thumbs up or some appreciation. I would be really happy. Can I get some reactions, please? Either in the chat box. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Marina, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Right. Moving ahead to the thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. These lovely compliments, these lovely things are making my day like a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you. A big thank to all of you. Thank you. So before ending the session, here is my WhatsApp number. Here is my Instagram handle. And like, if you people want to follow me, you can follow me there. Or if you have any query regarding to your classroom management, you can ping me on WhatsApp. You can call me and I'll be more than happy to help you. For your tips, thanks is very small, but oh my God, that has really made my day.
Thank you
Quite
very much, ma'am. We
thank you.
enjoyed your class, your session. Looking forward to attend many more sessions like this. And many takeaways are there in this session. Ma'am, I just wanted to have a clarity.
Sure, ma'am.
Ma'am, in my classroom, I have a child. I believe the child is a single parent and she stays in individual separate home wherein only their in-laws are not there and brother mother is there, so she works, so she is not able to give time to the child, so the child mingles with other peers and all nearby and all, a little bit naughty and very smart also, in such a way that he the mother will not come to know that how her child behaves like that, so he disturbs others and very quiet, not like that. So I asked him, I spoke to him, what is it, who are all there at home, how do you spend your day time, what is your schedule, everything. He says that mother goes to work and I sit and study, or sometimes I'll go to tuition also, and there is no time to like quality family time, that love and affection is not able to get it, so parent is also not able to give it, but this child is in such environment where their family is also not good environment, so I think that child has happened, become like that. So in this case, what can I do for that child to be not to be naughty, like not disturbing others, pulling, bullying, something in all that. So can you please guide me, ma'am?
Sure, ma'am. See, as far as I can see, the child is in demand of attention, which he's not getting at home because mother is busy. They have a busy, I mean, because she has responsibilities as well, which she cannot ignore, right? So in that case, you can just there is a cognitive behavioral therapy, which is more of a talk therapy, wherein you actually associate. If you all want, I can take a session on that also, right? Yes, you will get a certificate, ma'am. Sir and I'll both brief you up with the certificate process. Once I'm done with ma'am's question, I'll be briefing you about the certificate process as well. So ma'am, I was talking about the cognitive behavioral therapy, which is more of a talk therapy. Now see, this child is distracting others because he lacks focus, he needs attention. So there are so many ways in which you can keep the child engaged. We have to remember, we cannot expect this child to be sitting around with other children and not demanding for attention. No, he will definitely do that, right? So in order to keep the child busy, first 5 minutes, whosoever is going in the class should calm down the mind of every child, especially this child. If once you're able to harness the energy of this child, he will definitely listen to you. He will surrender no matter what, ma'am. So it, as someone said, would like to have a session like, so if upcoming session, if I take on cognitive behavioral therapy, there I'll be providing you sheets as well. And other than that, I mean, before the session also, ma'am, I can help you providing with many sheets and many strategies with which you can help the child calm down. And please try finding out his PIP. Once when you will talk to him, you will get to know what is his demand. Is he demanding for significance? Is his demand contribution? Or it is like Certain? Is he uncertain? First, you need to identify his PIP. Based on his PIP, then then again, frame is again an important thing. He has a certain notion in his mind. My life is like this because of this. He's living in cause and effect wala frame. So we have to change this frame also of that child. So these two are the first points, ma'am, the beginning points on which I think you should be working. I hope it clarifies, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In coming days, I request you to take up the sessions like wherein many parents are there today. Parents are having only one or two children, so they wanted all the whole child should be participated in all the aspects, all the Olympiads or all areas they wanted to be. At the same time, some wherein they pamper to the core, and the child will not understand what is it. It means children will not open the mouth and speak also. That much pampering, too much. So because everything is being done by the grandmother, grandfather, parents, everything to the extent to feed also. They'll just go near them, the feed. Only the thing is chewing. Chewing part is a very big, great thing. Wherein
I
you, my
agree.
child, has chewed today nicely and had and slept. This is the great thing for mother. We are also mother, but we are academic mothers, wherein we guide, tell them in all the 360 degrees. So, wherein we need to give academics also, discipline also. So, I looking forward this keeping in not the creamy children, below average children in all the aspects. So, I need in coming days a session on this topics, ma'am, wherein it covers.
Sure, ma'am. And as in you were talking about, see, uh, we have a parenting template inside us. But we as educators, we are dealing with two templates. One template is of the parenting one, which we have adapted from our parents, and the other is the teacher template, which we have, right? So because we are teachers, so we, to some extent, we have been able to overpower that parenting template which we have picked from our parents knowingly, unknowingly, because very soon I'm feedback forms. Sir, can you just, after I finish this, please, if you can brief them about feedback form and everything, right? So, ma'am, this is what, very soon I'm planning a session for the parents, especially for how to deal with the parents, because I know this is, the child is not a problem. The real problem is the parent, because whatever the child gets in as a feed from there, the child reflects the same. The child is actually vomiting what is taking in. So that is what I as a counselor feel is the need of the hour is to counsel parents, and every teacher should know the strategies how to handle the parents rather
Ma'am,
than
but ma'am,
handling the child.
sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am, but parent will not accept that whatever the guidelines or suggestions, feedback we give. They say that, yeah, I know my how to bring up my child. Thank you very much for your feedback or suggestion. Yeah, he's like that. I wanted to be like that. Some parents will say openly like that. So,
I agree, ma'am. But see, we
uh,
are the teachers. We cannot give up
yeah,
like that. It's like
yes,
we
yes,
just
yes, ma'am.
constantly have to put in that
Have to
notion into their mind.
behind them. Yes, behind them.
Yes. PIP of significance. Yes, surely
And
I
I
can
need
see,
the child to sit right in front of first bench itself, such that if
ma'am.
he changes the place, means he may disturb others, the whole class. So I want him to sit in first bench itself, wherein teacher attention goes to that particular child only. When teacher sees, the teacher should see if he is disturbing or anything. Still, some he'll make.
Because, ma'am, we all are actually treating the problem at the surface level. Are you getting that? Problem is
Got it.
here. Problem is here, right? So if I make naughtiest child of my class sit in the front, trust me, it will make no difference. Because
Sorry to
over here,
interrupt, Meenu ma'am. Most of the
yes,
people are asking the
yes,
information
yes,
with regard
yes.
to certificate and feedback form and all. Once we are
Yes.
done with that, you can still, we will be there. the people who
Sure,
want to
sure,
ask
sir.
doubts
Please,
can ask,
please.
because most of the people will be leaving after certificate thing. So,
Yes,
very
sir.
good evening, everyone, once again. It is really wonderful to know that most of the people have taken active participation today, and all the credits goes to the resource person. At the same time, all the participants who have come forward. And I really appreciate Aarti ma'am, who is coming up with good questions which are helpful for other, like teachers and principals also. Okay, what do we expect more than this being the, program directors of such a wonderful session? Now, coming to certificate, I want everyone to listen carefully. People who intend to grab a certificate, kindly make a note of this number, which I am writing in the chat box. 9908925730. Once again, I am repeating, 9908925730. Now, what are you supposed to do? You have to send an amount of 50 rupees, 5050, either by Google Pay or Phone Pay or Paytm. Google Pay, Phone Pay or Paytm to this number. After doing the transaction, send a screenshot of your transaction to the same number. Kindly send a screenshot of your transaction to the same number. After sending the screenshot, below mention your name the way you want on the certificate. If you want Mr., kindly mention Mr. If you want Miss, kindly mention Miss. And if at all you want Mrs., kindly mention Mrs. Most of the people are sending screenshot and forgetting to send a name. So we cannot help it. Okay, so kindly send. If you are particular about Mrs. or Miss, kindly send it. Otherwise, universally, we will be giving Miss for all the women. Okay. So send a screenshot of this along with the name as you want on the certificate. 50 rupees only. If you people are sending 50 to 51 and all, do not do that. Only 50 rupees. Okay. By when will you get the certificate? Our certificates are made manually by the IT person. So by tomorrow morning, the certificates will reach you. Kindly do not flood us with messages for certificate. You will get your certificate by morning. Okay, so this is how you get a certificate. Coming to feedback, we are very much happy to know that you people want to give feedback. But what is the point of giving the feedback in a Google form? We want you to come forward and give your return feedback through messages. Give your return feedback. If at all you are a member in our webinar group, that is okay. If at all you are not there in our webinar group, send a message to the same number asking to add you to the group. We will add you. That is my number. I will add you to that group. Give a return feedback to the resource person in the group so that your feedback is visible. Not only feedback, you can give feed forward, wherein if you have certain points for us to improve as a training center, we will take up that also. What menu, ma'am, isn't it? That's
Wonderful,
how it
sir. And
is.
I would love to hear feedbacks from all of you. I've already put my WhatsApp number in the chat box. It's like 9140483326. And this is my calling number as well. I'm repeating my number, 9140483326. Because, I believe that we are a community wherein we should be supporting each other in all the possible ways we can. So if any which ways I can be a help for any one of you, do ping me and I'll be more than happy to help all of you. Any other person if has a question? Yes, it's a WhatsApp number. It's a WhatsApp number also, ma'am. 9140483326. It's my WhatsApp number also. Calling and WhatsApp both.
Sir, it
Anyone?
was a
Yes.
wonderful session, sir. Ravikant, sir. Kindly please arrange such a wonderful sessions from your side at your end also. And looking forward the sessions from your side also, sir. I have attended sessions. So looking forward from your side also.
Definitely,
Just a
definitely.
doubt, sir. So this number, when we send it the screenshot, how shall we will get the certificate, sir? Do we need
See,
to
the people
send
who
our
are
mail
sending
ID?
the screenshot along with your name to the same WhatsApp number, we will be sending the printable PDF certificate.
Okay, fine. So we
Okay.
need not say, share our mail ID.
No need of mail ID. We will
Okay.
send it to WhatsApp. Kindly share it to your drive so that it is always there in your drive. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So, and the
Thank you, sir.
people who
Thank
wish
you.
to become trainers with us, we have our Train the Trainers course. Okay, you can inquire about it. And Meenu ma'am, if you could give a glimpse about it so that people who really
Surely,
want, because we
surely.
have
I
been
mean,
getting many messages. Yes.
Yes, sir.
yes,
Sir, can you
yes.
please throw some light on that, becoming that trainer? What is that? How to do it? What
Yes,
are what is
yes.
that? Like
Meenu ma'am will give inputs
curiosity.
about it. Yes.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Surely, surely. Like it's a wonderful platform to join and then to become a resource person, not only because you get notes and you get everything, but the intense handholding which we get. That is marvelous. And I really believe, I mean, sometimes we trouble serve with so many questions and, without any definite time of calling and all, but he's always there to help and to answer and, to teach. So anyone who wants to become a trainer, this is one of the most wonderful platforms to join and learn. And trust me, this is the need of the hour. And what I feel is like, every teacher has to become a trainer now. Bygone are the days when we had this remote classroom teaching and it was all done. So we need to be counselor, we need to be trainers, and definitely we are there for teaching. So yes, you should, without a doubt, you should go ahead and join the course.
Meenu ma'am, I had a doubt actually.
Yes,
This
yes,
was
please.
regarding the PIP related to significance.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't take my notes at that particular point. Could you just
Sure,
explain
sure,
it
sure.
in short? Thank you.
Sure, I can. See, ma'am, significance is wherein you want importance. There are few children, as I talked about, they would always want themselves to be felt important. I want to be the monitor of the class because it adds into my status. I want to be the line in charge because it gives me a sense of fulfillment, wherein they always want to take in the lead, not because they are doing something good or what, but because they are getting significance by this. They want to speak in the assemblies. They always want, they are the first one to answer. They just given the answer without even listening to the full question, whether the teacher has finished the question or not. They would be, yes ma'am, I know the answer, yes ma'am, I know the answer. So why? Because their PIP is significance only. Everyone should look at me with the praising eyes. I should be always hearing very good, excellent from my teacher. This is how, ma'am, we identify a child with this PIP of significance.
Thank you, ma'am. That was well explained. And
Well,
but how do we counter this? Because in a
sorry?
class of, how do we counter this? Because when we are dealing with the children in the entire class, it becomes difficult sometimes, to give it individual attention at that particular time, or to give him sufficient responsibilities that he is engaged. Then this particular child, starts disturbing the rest of them, or does not allow others to answer whatever questions the teacher is posing. So if you could just give a few tips,
Sure.
or is it too late? I don't know, a session.
See, what should be done? See, I always follow this strategy to keep a parked time for me. PARKED, parked time. That park time is my timetable, which my children know. And I mean, when I am scheduling my park time, I ensure that the child also has some period which is not harming his or her academic. Now, during that time, ma'am, what you can do is you can...
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. We have only 1 minute left. So I will start the session again. Once it is over, you can join and ask your doubts. You don't have to go anywhere. Okay? Yeah.
Sure. So what you can do is, ma'am, you pick up the timetable of the child, you identify your free time and nominate it as your parked time. In your parked time, you bring that child out and then, talk to him as much as you can. Because remember, ma'am, it is always like therapy. Talk therapy is one of the best therapies which can be used with children. And then slowly we can use many other therapies which come under cognitive behavioral therapy. There can be sheets given.